Many of us hold back from fully embracing ourselves. We tend to fear showing the parts of us that society might label as unacceptable because it feels uncomfortable for us. To avoid this discomfort, we also tend to split ourselves into two: what we consciously show to the world and what we hide away in our subconscious. In today's video, we're learning about a topic that hits close to home: your shadow side and its role in your life. Learning about this aspect of your life can be eye-opening because it sheds light on the hidden parts of yourself that you often try to ignore or suppress. So stick around until the end of the video because understanding your shadow can lead you to powerful insights and personal growth. Now, let's talk about your conscious mind. In your conscious mind, that's the part where you've created an ideal version of yourself, where you piece together memories and traits you believe are good and acceptable by yourself and society. But in the depths of your unconscious mind actually lies a different story. The parts of yourself you're afraid to acknowledge, the ones you've deemed unworthy or unacceptable. In Jungian psychology, that hidden aspect is known as the shadow. Without integrating or recognizing your shadow side, you can't fully reach your potential. It's like leaving an important puzzle piece out of the picture when you're trying to complete it. Instead, you'll always feel like something is missing, like there's a piece of you that's incomplete and unfulfilled that can lead to a life filled with what-ifs and regrets instead of embracing its true potential. For instance, let's say you've always had a passion for painting, but you've convinced yourself that pursuing art professionally is unrealistic by society's standards. At the same time, you might find yourself admiring the work of other artists, and you will feel a twinge of envy because you're thinking of what could have been if you'd followed your heart and embraced your artistic talents. You might even feel a pang of longing for missing out on something bigger and more fulfilling by sticking to what you deem is the standard and the accepted. The idea of pursuing painting and your art scares you because joining the art community means letting go of the image of being a non-artist you've convinced yourself you are. It also means that you have to face the reality of your talents and your potential as an artist head on. In this situation, you only have two choices. The first is to avoid confronting your shadow and let it grow. You might resist joining art classes or pursuing your passion for painting, fearing it will expose your vulnerabilities and uncertainties as an artist. You get to hold on to the comforting idea of yourself as a non-artist because it's easier, but in doing so, you're missing out on the chance to explore and develop your artistic abilities that you know you have deep inside your heart. Then you have the second option, which is to confront your shadow and embrace it. You'll do this by deciding to join art classes and facing the reality that you're not as skilled as you once thought. It stings at first when you realize your struggles with certain techniques like shading, but you can also discover more strengths you never knew you had, like an innate talent for capturing emotions in your paintings. As you engage with your artist peers, you can find yourself on equal footing and will eventually learn from them, and you can also share your insights in exchange. If you choose your second option and confront your shadow head on, you might find yourself in a real community of artists with a clear position and recognition among your peers. It's a reality check when you realize you're not the artistic genius you imagined before. Still, it will open up the possibility of truly elevating your craft and reaching your full potential as an artist. In doing so, you see that there's room for growth and improvement, and you're determined to rise to the challenge. In the end, embracing this reality can turn out to be the greatest choice you've ever made. It's like shedding the illusion of perfection and stepping into the messy, beautiful journey of becoming your best self. All you have to do is face your shadow bravely and willingly. By determining how to choose between facing your shadow or not, you can now tell yourself that you could be anything you want to be. But yet again, it's not an easy process because deep down, you might still hesitate to take the steps needed to become the person you want to be. We all know how it's easier to cling to the idea of your potential than to face the reality of working towards it. So when you start striving for something and you suddenly feel the weight of expectations, comparisons, being judged and ranked, your progress is quantified and scrutinized. But sometimes, living in this real, measurable world feels less satisfying than the comforting fantasy of what could be. But this isn't a fantasy, it's your reality. And while reality may have its flaws, it's also where true growth and fulfillment happen. Living in a fantasy world may seem appealing because it's perfect and dreamy, but it often leads to disappointment and unfulfilled dreams. The journey to self-improvement should begin with self-acceptance. It's about embracing every part of yourself, even the ones you're afraid to acknowledge. You can unlock your fullest potential by recognizing your shadow, accepting your imperfections, and embracing your true self. It's a journey worth taking, and it's the one that leads to genuine happiness and success. So if you push away your shadow all the time by only focusing on the parts of yourself that you're comfortable with and hiding away the ones that scare you, you will never feel whole in your life, no matter how hard you try. You'll constantly feel like something's missing, like there's a piece of you that's been left behind. Instead of living and experiencing a rich, fulfilling life, you'll find yourself weighed down by regrets and what-ifs. The choice is yours. The next time you're standing in a conference room being torn between two options, one where you could choose to speak up and share your ideas during the meeting, despite feeling nervous about potentially being criticized or rejected, the other one is where you could stay silent, avoiding the discomfort of putting yourself out there and risking failure. Would you prefer to face failure in reality, where it stings and leaves a mark, or would you rather find comfort in the safety of hypothetical success? If you've enjoyed this video, give this channel some support by clicking on the subscribe button and sharing your thoughts in the comment section down below. Stay updated on our upcoming content by hitting the notification bell so you'll always get notified on our next one. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.